Are we ready to start? Who's giving me the okay?
Usually later. You guys ready to go?
You're ready to go?
Yeah.
So good morning, everyone. And I would like to welcome you all to our Trillium Bakery in Hamilton. This is Canada's largest bakery and our flagship facility in Canada. The bakery opened in 2011 and has fed people of Ontario and Canadian across the country ever since. Bimbo Canada has 2 facilities in Hamilton where we employ more than 500 associates. We're very proud to be a member of this community and invest in its future. We have many special guests here with us today, and on behalf of our team, I would like to welcome you all. From the province of Ontario, we're very pleased to have the Premier and Member of Provincial Parliament for Etobicoke North, Doug Fort. It's an honor to have you with us today, sir. Minister of Economic Development, Jobs Creation and Growth, and Member of Provincial Parliament for Nipissing, Vic Fedeli. Minister of Tourism, Culture and Sports, and Member of Provincial Parliament for Hamilton East, Stony Creek, Neil Lumsden. Minister of Agriculture, Food and Rural Affairs, and Member of Provincial Parliament for Huron Bruce, Lisa Thompson. Minister of the Environment, Conservation and Parks, and Member of Provincial Parliament for Northumberland, Peterborough South, David Piccini. And the Member of Provincial Parliament from Flamborough-Glanbrook and for our Trillium facility, Donna Skelly. I would also like to welcome our other non-government of Ontario honored guests from the City of Hamilton, the Mayor, Her Worship, Andrea Hortworth, the team from Invest in Hamilton, a vital partner for us in the community, and Chris Conway, the Chief Executive Officer of Food and Beverage Ontario, an important ally and a voice as we look to build Ontario's food supply and security. We thank you all for being here today for this very special announcement for Bimbo Canada, the City of Hamilton, and the Province of Ontario. For that, please allow me to invite the Member of Provincial Parliament, Donna Skelly, to share details of this announcement. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. I really am thrilled to be here this morning accompanying the Premier, Minister Fedeli, and Minister Lumsden at Bimbo Canada in this great riding, my riding of Flamborough-Glanbrook. You know, our government has declared since we took office back in 2018 that we are truly open for business, and we will do what we can to make it easier for businesses to invest and to create jobs in this province and to have confidence in the direction and strength of Ontario's economy. We are continuing to work to ensure that Ontario is the best place for people to live and for businesses to invest and to grow. Regional economic development is a priority for our government. We are creating the conditions for business investment and job creation that contribute to the economic health and sustainability of local economies. You know, since our government took office, almost 500,000 jobs have been added to the Ontario economy. We are creating the best possible conditions for businesses to expand and build workforces right across Ontario. And we are establishing an environment where businesses can grow, they can thrive and create good-paying jobs. And now I would like to invite Minister Fedeli to say a few words.
Thank you, MPP Scully. Hello, everybody. It's great to be here at Bimbo Canada to celebrate a true Ontario success story alongside with Premier Ford, Ministers Thompson, Lumsden, Piccini, and MPP Skelly, and Your Worship. It's great to see you today, Your Worship. Thank you to the incredible team here at Bimbo for investing in Ontario. This is fantastic news for our manufacturing sector and for our workers and families in Hamilton. For over 110 years, Bimbo has literally put the food on our table, bread on the tables of our families across the nation, producing more than 1,000 products for brands like Dempster's, Villaggio, and Stone Mill. These products are a staple in many households, and our government is so proud to work with Bimbo to ensure the company and its employees continue to thrive. Businesses like Bimbo need the right conditions to invest and grow. That's why we've expanded our regional development program and added the Advanced Manufacturing and Innovation Competitiveness stream last year. With this new AMIC stream, we're able to help Ontario manufacturers invest in the equipment, technologies, and skilled workforce needed to improve competitiveness and growth. Since this regional development program was launched in 2019, Province of Ontario has provided more than $70 million to 67 companies, and they've been able to invest nearly $800 million and create more than 1,425 jobs. You know, Ontario's manufacturing sector is second to none. And when companies like Beambo thrive, so do their workers, their families, and the local communities. Together, we're building a stronger Ontario with opportunities for all people. So congratulations and thank you again to the team at Beambo for making us feel so welcome here. We wish you continued success. And now, it's an absolute pleasure to turn it over to Premier Ford to tell us more about this exciting investment. Premier?
Well, good morning, everyone, and it's always great to be back in Hamilton alongside Minister Fedeli, Minister Piccini, Minister Thompson, and our two local champions, actually our three local champions, MPP Skelly and Minister Lumsden. I also want to welcome Mayor Horvath, who I'm thrilled to be standing with instead of standing across the aisle from her. But you know, the mayor and I had an opportunity to chat, and I'm just so happy to be here with the mayor, and we're going to do everything we can to continue building Hamilton into, they're already a great city, even a better city under her leadership. And I said, anything that you ever need, you just give me a call, and we're going to work hand in hand on anything that you need. And I want to say a big thank you to Mary-Eve. Thank you, Mary-Eve, for having us by, and the entire team here at Beambo Canada. It's always a pleasure to visit companies like Beambo, growing companies that believe in their communities and are investing in the future. Because as we know, manufacturing and production facilities like Beambo are the lifeblood of communities across the province and have been for decades. They're providing good paying, skilled jobs and bringing opportunities to people and families across this province. And Beambo is just one of many businesses seeing a bright future in Ontario, who are putting down even deeper roots here. Beambo is investing $15 million to expand this facility, and thank you. Thank you. Installing cutting-edge production technology and creating new good-paying jobs for local workers. And our government is thrilled to support this expansion with a $1.5 million investment through our regional development program. Our government is working tirelessly to create conditions for jobs to grow and businesses to prosper. We're making electricity more affordable and cutting red tape. We've kept taxes and fees low. And the result is that we have reduced the cost of doing business in Ontario by $7 billion a year. That's right, that's $7 billion with a B each and every year. But there's much more to do, and we aren't wasting any time. We're building housing at a record rate, creating 1.5 million new homes over the next 10 years. We're tackling gridlock, getting people moving again by building new roads and highways and investing billions in our public transit. We're expanding hands-on schooling in the skilled trades, training a workforce that's prepared for the jobs of today and tomorrow. And all of these efforts mean that we're ensuring Ontario remains the greatest place anywhere to live, work, and raise a family. Manufacturing has always been at the center of this province's economy, and our government is grateful that companies like Beambo proudly call Hamilton area home. There is no better place for them to grow, and we couldn't be happier to have them, helping us build Ontario for the future. I want to thank Beambo and thank the people here. God bless the people of Ontario. Now I want to introduce the great mayor of Hamilton, Mayor Horvath.
Well, thank you very much, Premier. I'm thrilled to be here with all of you, with the ministers and with the local members of provincial parliament. Before I get into my formal remarks, though, I'd like to just acknowledge that we had a very disturbing tragedy happen in our community yesterday, and I know Hamiltonians are quite concerned and upset, as am I as the mayor, and I just want to extend my deepest condolences, as well as an open heart and hand to families who are grieving and kids who are having probably a very difficult time in our community as a result of some violence that occurred yesterday amongst a couple of 15-year-olds, one who tragically lost their life. And so I just wanted to acknowledge that before I speak about this announcement here today. I want to say thank you to everyone for being here. I want to welcome formally Premier Ford. Welcome back to Hamilton. I'm so glad to be here with you to make this announcement, to be part of this announcement that you're making. As I said, it's great to be here with Minister Fedeli, with Minister Lumsden, with Minister Thompson, with Minister Piccini, as well as MPP Donna Skelly. I'm thrilled to see you all. And I was saying on our way in, I like talking to you this way. It's quite different, but productive for the city of Hamilton, and I'm very pleased about that. Warm greetings to the entire Bimbo team, led by President Miliev Royer and the President of Canadian Allied Professional Union, Frank Barton. As many of you know, Bimbo Canada is the country's largest and oldest bakery, feeding Canada delicious and nutritious food for more than 110 years under their legacy name, Canada Bread. Canada Bread was an anchor investment in the Red Hill Business Park in 2009, which encouraged other companies like Navistar, Continental Tire, and Sierra Cold Storage to invest here too. Food and beverage production is part of the fastest growing subsector of Hamilton's manufacturing sector, and our jobs in food manufacturing have grown by 33% since 2016. This is thanks to companies like Bimbo Canada for recognizing that Hamilton is the city they can grow in and invest in with a talented workforce at the ready. Hamilton's facility, the Trillium Bakery, is Bimbo Canada's largest and most innovative bakery in Canada. And Hamilton is very proud of that. Shout out to plant manager Juan Echigoing, who is also here today. I want to thank our provincial partners for this $1.5 million investment, this $1.5 million grant and funding. Hamilton's facility will become much better and more advanced, creating new skilled jobs and a production line that will be one of the most competitive and productive tortilla lines anywhere in the world. How exciting is that? As I came into the plant and not only smelled the wonderful odor here, and scent, right? The wonderful scent here, I started looking around, and pretty much every product that I've seen so far has ended up in my pantry at one time or another. And so now we'll be seeing tortillas that are made right here in my pantry as well, which is exciting. I want to thank the company as well for your latest investment in Hamilton, which is very much needed. Pun? Very much needed. and we remain committed to helping you grow in our community. Thank you so much for the investment. Premier, thank you for being here. Ministers, I really appreciate seeing all of you, and to look forward to us continuing to work together. Thank you.
Just a reminder, it's one question, one follow-up.
Good morning, Premier.
Good morning.
Jason Gaidola with CHCH News.
Hi, Jason.
My first question is kind of bouncing off Mayor Horvath's comments regarding some tragedies yesterday, one involving fatal hit and run, another robbery, and also built on top of what happened in Toronto, and that's regarding the 18s there. Your thoughts about it, how concerned are you, and is your government thinking about doing anything additionally to help mitigate these tragedies?
Well, my heart goes out to the family of the young person yesterday. That is a tragedy. Anyone who gets killed is a tragedy. And there's really two different areas. You always look at the Young Offenders Act, but I always believe in the tragedy when the OPP officer was murdered. And there's limited stuff I can say because it's in front of the courts. But the federal government needs to change the laws. They have to change the bail reform. They have to look at possible mandatory sentences. Anyone who commits a heinous crime with a gun, in my opinion, shouldn't be out on bail the next day or 2 days after. And going up there and taking anyone's lives, not to mention the people that we rely on to protect us, and those are the police officers. We've had too many killings, and enough's enough. We have to hold these criminals in jail, and there has to be tougher sentences. But that's about as far as I can go on any one case.
My second question is, yesterday you mentioned about the internal document analysis on Bill 124. You call it inaccurate, while your analysis said otherwise. Did you figure out how that mix-up happened, and is there an explanation for why that happened?
Yeah, sure. So every minister, all of them that take the ministry, they get a briefing from the OPS, and they put what their beliefs are. And you know, when it comes to let's use the nurses for example, and the hospitals negotiate with them, that's lapsed. Bill 124. I want to move forward and make sure that we take care of the people that work for the government, anywhere in any ministry.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, Premier Siobhan from CTV.
Hi, Siobhan.
This morning, the leaders of the NDP, the Liberals, and the Greens have together called on the Auditor General to investigate both the economic and environmental effects of opening up parts of the Greenbelt for development. I'm wondering how you're receiving that call for more transparency around your government's decision.
Well, again, I think we're very transparent, and at the end of the day, we need more homes. We're going to see over 300,000 people in the next year or two showing up to the province. They're going to show up to the Greater Toronto area. I was speaking to the mayor. The numbers I understand, you know, there's going to be 800,000 people by 2050 here in Hamilton, and it also adds to their tax base. But we also need to have great companies like BMO continuing to invest, I should say, into areas like Hamilton to create more revenues up to the city's coffers and up to the Queen's Park coffers. So we need to continue building homes.
On a related subject, Hamilton has been quite emphatic that they believe they can reach the target for housing you've set out for them within their existing boundaries, but you know, the city limits have been changed. Why does Queen's Park think it knows better than Hamilton how it can reach its targets here?
Well, again, we want to work collaboratively with all cities, including Hamilton. I'm very confident the mayor and I are going to have a great relationship, no matter if it comes to infrastructure or building homes or attracting great businesses like BMO. And I just look forward to a collaborative relationship with Mayor Horvath and other mayors across the city.
Hi, Premier. Fallon
Hi.
Hewitt from the Hamilton Spectator.
Hi.
My question is regarding LRT. Has inflation made Hamilton's LRT project unaffordable again?
Well, I don't know if it's unaffordable, but over the last few years, we've seen labor costs go up, material costs go up. Yes, is it probably going to go up? It will, but nothing's more important to give the people of Hamilton proper transit. Along with the transit line, there's going to be great development as well. And we're just looking forward to working with them. And maybe I'll pass this to the mayor and her comments about the LRT as well. Thank you.
Thanks so much, Premier. Hamiltonians are largely excited about the LRT project. I'm going to do everything I can as mayor to make sure that project stays on track. As we know, the business community is very excited as well, as the educational institutions are finding these opportunities for higher order transit, committing to them, and then making sure that they're funded is extremely important, and we all know that these projects take some time to do the proper planning and the detailed analysis of what's it's going to take on the ground. No matter what project it is, there's going to be changes in the economy that are going to impact the costs of the projects. But as mayor, I
want everybody to know that I'm going to work closely with the provincial and federal governments to make sure that Hamilton's LRT is delivered. There's already a lot of investment that's come to Hamilton along that route, as folks know. Cranes in the downtown, which we haven't seen for a very long time in our city, and we want to make sure that that investment continues, and the LRT is a big part of that. Thank you.
Thanks, Premier.
And again for you, Premier, the urban boundary decision your government imposed on Hamilton has sparked numerous protests and rallies by local citizens and outrage from the new City Council, who had already voted to freeze the urban boundary and grow within city limits. What do you say to them?
Well, I just say we're going to need more homes, and to meet the targets that we have, which I believe is 47,000 over the next 10 years, and I really look forward to working with them. What would be the tragedy when 300,000 people show up over the next 10 years, 3 million people? Just imagine putting a city the size of Toronto plunked down right in Toronto, in the greater Toronto area, without housing. But what goes hand in hand with that is attainable and affordable homes, rentals that we need to get built as well. And we have to create the climate for companies to come here and invest and build rentals. I was mentioning to the mayor, speaking to some of the investment bankers and everything, we saw the pens drop immediately on rentals, which is not a good thing. We need rentals. So we have to make it attractive for them to build right across the province here.
Good morning, Premier. Lisa Pileski from Global News.
Hi, Lisa.
Hi, I'm just wondering, I have a question for my Toronto colleagues. Yesterday, Toronto's budget chief talked about the need to have a conversation about new revenue tools for cities, possibly even road tolls. Just wondering if you would approve of the introduction of tolls on roads like the Gardiner or the DVP or the Red Hill or the Link.
Yeah, no, I'm not in favor of tolls. We took tolls off out in the Durham region. I think what every city should do is bring in some Lean Six Sigma experts, look at process and how we can do things better, and we're doing at the province. And there's still, I'm always up here, I'm first to admit, no matter if it's municipal or provincial and federal, there's always ways to drive efficiencies and look at continuous improvement. I just put my private sector hat on, and again, there's better ways of delivering services through technology and different processes. So that's what I would recommend them doing. And I know I mentioned this yesterday, but when we went down to Toronto, there was big deficits, but we drove efficiencies and found $1 billion of savings. So there's better ways of doing things, to answer your question.
Okay, and my second question for you would be, the City of Hamilton has basically been doing a sort of inspections of the sewer system now that we've found more leaks that are going into Hamilton Harbour. And when the Director of Sewage and Wastewater spoke on Monday, they said that basically that there are probably a lot of municipalities around the Golden Horseshoe that may have similar situations like this, and they're probably keeping an eye on what Hamilton is doing proactively at this point. So if it does turn out that other municipalities are having similar issues to Hamilton, is there anything that the province is able and willing to do to help, share the burden of repairing this old infrastructure?
Well, before I pass it over to the minister, I can pass it over to the mayor. Our job is to make sure that we always focus on helping on infrastructure projects across the province with all 444 municipalities. And when there's big issues, we'll always be there to support them one way or another. But I'd like to pass this over to Minister Piccini, Minister of Environment.
Thanks, Premier. That's an excellent question, and I know I share, and as does the Premier and the Mayor, with the residents of Hamilton. This is unacceptable. That's why the province last year and in years prior, we've invested over $10 million to improve monitoring and reporting, of which almost $1 million went in to Hamilton to improve that. And we've been working closely, with our ministry. We have enforcement and compliance officers through our spills division that were immediately here on site and are working closely with the mayor. And I've got to say that it's been really refreshing We haven't necessarily seen that sort of transparency in the past here in the municipality, and this mayor has been an absolute delight to work with, very transparent. We've maintained an open dialogue over the past weeks that has been informed by the work of our enforcement officers who are working with city officials to assess their system that they manage and oversee. Our officials are here and have met numerous times, and I know that work is informing the independent advice that goes into the enforcement order that our officers will be working with the city on. Thank you.
This will be the last question.
Thank you. This is Bobby Christovo, CBC Hamilton. This is for Premier Ford. Hope you're doing well.
I'm doing well. Hope you are too.
Thank you. My first question for you, just following up on your comments from yesterday, are you willing to get a deal with Trudeau without the other provinces on health transfers, or will you stick with other premiers?
I always believe in sticking with other premiers, and Premier Stephenson's doing a great job as chair. We're working with her. I was messaging her this morning, and we want a fair deal for the province, all the provinces and the territories. We have a close-knit group of premiers right across the country from coast to coast to coast, and we want a deal, but we need to sit down with the federal government and the Prime Minister and really have a talk across the table. So that's what we want, and I'm still confident we're going to get a deal. I really am. I'm very, very confident. So we're going to keep working at it, and I'm sure all of us will be out making an announcement, hopefully sooner than later.
And my follow-up question for you, how do you respond to municipalities who say the new cuts that you introduced to development fees through Bill 23 will cost residents because it's forcing cities to increase property taxes?
Well, again, I'm going to have to disagree. They're going to get more revenues when these homes are built and these buildings are built. It's going to create more revenues up to the city coffers. But again, let's go back to the root cause, the reason we're doing this. Nothing would be worse than having 300,000 people every year showing up to the GTA, Hamilton, and Toronto, because that's where they're going to land, and not have any housing. We're already in a housing crisis because there was a lack of action for many, many years, and now we need to start building. And we have to start building for the future to make sure that people can afford homes, and I'm a strong believer in the government, federal and provincial and municipal, helping people with attainable ownership and helping them, in having their own home, no matter if it's a condominium or a residence. That's everyone's goal, is to have their own home and an investment like that.
Okay, thanks everyone.
Okay, thanks everyone. Great to be here in the Great Hammer. I love the people here. Thank you.